And today, inshallah, we're going to talk about al-iddah. We're going to call that the countdown instead of waiting period. So the author says, fasl section والمعتدة على ضربين. It says there are two types of women in their waiting period, yani their countdown. متوفى عنها وغير متوفى عنها. The widow and the non-widow. The widow and the non-widow. So your broadest cases of women in countdown before they can marry again are the widow and the non-widow. It's going to start there like Abu Shuja'a did. If you want to break it down systematically. And then he starts with the widow. And so he says, فالمتوفى عنها إن كانت حاملا فعدتها بوضع الحمل. If the widow were pregnant, so it means her husband died while she was pregnant, then her countdown ends. Her countdown ends by childbirth. Yani, it says childbirth here. بوضع الحمل. So, yani, that means childbirth approximately. Now, if you want to be very technical, more technical, her iddah is going to end by the termination of her pregnancy. By the termination of her pregnancy. That's a broader term than saying delivery, because she might have a miscarriage. So when her pregnancy is done, her iddah is over. And when we say when her pregnancy is done, her iddah is over, this means if she has twins or more, then her iddah is not over until all of her babies come out. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ حَائِلًا. If she were not pregnant, فَعِدَّتُهَا أَرْبَعَةُ أَشْهُرٍ وَعَشْرٍ. Then her countdown is 4 months and 10 days. 4 months and 10 days. So that's the iddah of the widow who's not pregnant. So the widow, her iddah, if she were pregnant, her iddah is until her pregnancy is terminated. And this is the case whether she's a slave or free woman. In this case, the slave has the same rule as the free person. What's the case usually of the slave? When we talk about the rule of a slave compared to the rule of a free person, what's the case of the slave going to be? Tell me. This general rule. 5, 4, 3, half. Correct. So we're going to find that the rule of the slave is half of whatever applied to a free person. But here, it's not going to be half because she can't be half pregnant. So then she's going to have to use her entire pregnancy for the countdown, the slave woman. وغير المتوفى عنها إن كانت حاملة. No, not if here. The non-widow, unless there's another word for a woman who's not a widow, إن كانت حاملا, the non-widow, if she were pregnant, هكذا فعدتها بوضع الحمل, then her countdown is by dropping her load, yani, until the termination of her pregnancy. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ حَائِلًا, and if she were not pregnant, وَهِيَ مِنْ ذَوَاتِ الْحَيْض, then this one has branches. If she were not pregnant, then she has cases. So let's back up real quick. A woman in her iddah, she has two broad cases: widow or non-widow. Now, go to the widow. She has two cases: pregnant or not pregnant. Okay, if she's pregnant, her iddah is until when? Until her termination, till the termination of her pregnancy. If she's not pregnant, her iddah is 4 months and 10 days. Now, over to the non-widow. Non-widow has branches. Either she's pregnant or she's not pregnant. If she's pregnant, her iddah is until she drops her load, until the termination of her pregnancy. If she's not pregnant, then she has branches too. وإن كانت حائلا وهي من ذوات الحيض فعدتها 3 قروء. If she were not pregnant, then if she were a menstruating woman, her iddah is 3 intervals of purity. وهي الأطهار 3 قروء وهي الأطهار. Then her iddah is 3 intervals of purity. So this means what? Her iddah is 3 clean times. And if he divorced her during a clean time, that's going to be the first one. Even if he had sexual intercourse with her during this clean time, that's still going to be the first one. But that's a haram divorce, as you know. So if he divorced her during a clean time, that's the first one. Her iddah starts immediately. Then her period comes on. Then it goes off. That's the second clean time. Then her period comes on. Then it goes off. That's the third clean time. Then her period comes on. Now she can remarry. So her iddah is over. Her countdown is over when her period comes on. And she can remarry. Okay. Well, what if he divorced her while she's menstruating? Then, if he divorced her while she's menstruating, then that's not the first clean time. So this means that he added time to her waiting period. Now I can feel comfortable to say waiting period here. Her tarabbus. If he divorced her while she's menstruating, then he added time to her tarabbus, her waiting time, which is haram. That's harmful to her. It's not permissible for him to harm her by divorcing her while she is menstruating and thereby extending her waiting time. Why I'm not saying her countdown? Because the countdown itself won't start until the first clean time. So the scenario I'm telling you is he divorced her while she's menstruating, which is haram, major sin. So her iddah does not start yet, not until the clean time starts. But he still made her have to wait longer by divorcing her in her period. So I think that's clear. If you have any question, go ahead and ask me. So you know the scenarios here. Either he divorces her while she's menstruating or she's not menstruating. In terms of, talking here in terms of her iddah, not in terms of the permissibility, in terms of the rules of the iddah, the countdown. If he divorces her during her period, then this was haram because he extended her waiting time, which is harmful to her. because her iddah won't start until the purity time. So that case I didn't used to understand the way it was worded. Alhamdulillah, now I understand. Praise and thanks are due to Allah who grants comprehension. And comprehension is amongst the greatest of blessings. What's the greatest blessing? Iman, faith. Faith is the greatest blessing. And what is amongst the greatest blessings? Amongst the greatest blessings is fahm, comprehension. So priceless. Sometimes I feel sad for some brothers and sisters like they cannot comprehend something. Some people it's like they can't comprehend anything. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Let me not go on a rant here. وإن كانت صغيرة أو آيسة فعدتها 3 أشهر. If she were a girl or menopausal, her waiting period is 3 months. So then that's another branch for the non-pregnant, non-widow. Not pregnant and not a widow. But I wanted to pose a question here or present a case to you. The one who's not a widow and now she's pregnant. She's not a widow, but she's pregnant and she's actually delivering now. Now she's delivering. And her husband divorced her before her womb is clear. So while she's delivering, her husband divorced her. How long her iddah will be when that womb gets cleared? So whenever her babies, however many babies she has coming out, when her womb is cleared and her husband divorced her while she's delivering, then her iddah will be over once her womb is cleared of babies. Okay. وإن كانت صغيرة أو آيسة فعدتها 3 أشهر. If she were a girl or menopausal, then her countdown is 3 months. Lunar months, of course. So then, what does this mean when we say she's a girl or she's menopausal? This means she does not menstruate. And also, who goes here? There's another type of woman who goes here. Who can tell me the third type of woman who goes right here? It says if she were a girl or menopausal, her countdown is 3 months. Who else goes here? 5, 4, 3. The one who does not menstruate. Oh, I need you to say it in a different way. 2. 1. The answer I'm looking for, the wording I'm looking for is the one who never menstruated. Never menstruated. She is at an age of menstruation, but never menstruated. So never is better than doesn't. Never menstruated since she reached the age of puberty. Also, she goes here. So her iddah is 3 months, 3 lunar months. And what is the age of menopause? The famous saying, or the strong saying is 62 lunar years. 62 lunar years.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
The rules still apply if this woman start goes in menopause at an early age.
According to saying 62, then we're not going to deem that it's menopause yet. We're not going to deem that it's menopause yet. Like, for example, the very mentioning of the case of the woman who never menstruated. Never. She's at menstruating age, but never menstruated in her life. So what if, let's say, she's now 50? This is before menopause, the age of menopause. But we're still not going to say she's in menopause yet because it's before the age of menopause.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. What if her menses stopped before that age? Then she's a menstruating woman still. What's the definition of menstruating woman? Who can give us the definition of a menstruating woman?
A woman at least who has at least one time if she saw her period.
And I think, Haja, you answered this question last time. You told me the second side, not the first side. Now you're telling me the first side, and you tell me the second side.
Not before 9.
It's under 62.
And what?
The age of under 62.
Yes. Yani, menstruating woman means she has menstruated at least once in her life and has yet to reach the age of menopause. So the question here is, what if her menses stopped before that age? We're going to say she's still a menstruating woman, by definition. يقول والمطلقة قبل الدخول بها لا عدة عليها. The woman divorced before consummation has no countdown. Yani, she can marry immediately. She doesn't have an iddah.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Sheikh.
Yes. A woman who is divorced before consummation does not have an iddah. So it means a man married her, she married a man, they never had intercourse, and then he divorced her. So now she's free. She can just marry another man immediately. She has no iddah. And even if they had privacy is not enough to change that. وعدة الأمة بالحمل كعدة الحرة. The countdown of the pregnant slave woman is like the waiting period. The countdown is like the countdown of the free woman. The countdown of the pregnant slave woman is like the countdown of the free woman. So, like we said, here's a case where their case is the same, not made half for the slave. وبالأقرأ أن تعتد بقرئين. If it were by intervals, then she counts 2 intervals. She counts 2 intervals, 2 clean times. So here, the slave woman who is divorced. I'm saying divorced, but really, the iddah is going to be for breach of the marriage. It doesn't have to be divorce. So if a man divorced his wife, if they consummated, she starts her iddah. It's always going to be consummation, though, that makes the iddah there. But not for the widow. I'm not talking about the widow here. When I say there's always going to have to be a consummation for her to have iddah, I'm not talking about a widow. Uh, so this slave woman, her marriage was breached, if I want to say broadest terms. Her marriage was breached. If I want to just say simple words, I could say she was divorced. She's not pregnant. And she's a menstruating woman. Then her iddah is 2 clean times instead of 3. وبالشهور يعني الوفاة أن تعتد بشهرين و5 ليال. If it were by months because of being widowed, if her iddah were by months because of being widowed, this slave woman, then her iddah will be 2 months and 5 days. We found it in half now. Instead of 4 months and 10 days, 2 months and 5 days for this slave woman. This is why some people in Islamic society who are slaves, they didn't even want to be free. How's that? See how people are talking bad about slavery, like they know so much. They don't know so much. Islam is so nice in everything that there were people who were slaves, Muslim slaves, and they preferred to be slaves. Not out of being brainwashed, because rules are easier. Yeah, in those ways. In those ways. In some ways, rules are easier. Now, for sure, though, if you're a slave means then you got to do what your master tells you to do. Maybe it's going to make you work. If you're a slave, you can't own anything. But if you're a slave, someone else has to take care of you. Okay. وعن الطلاق أن تعتد بشهر ونصف إن اعتدت بشهرين فإن اعتدت بشهرين كان أولى. And if it were because of divorce, if she were in her countdown because of divorce, then, and she goes by months, she's going by months, then a month and a half. And 2 months is better. Because a month and a half is half of 3 months. You said the transatlantic slave is what people think of when they think of slavery. Yes. And all the unjust rules that the unjust people did, all the unjust things that they did, the horrific, very horrific, horrific things that they did, subhanAllah. I think Shaitan was so happy with those kuffar in those days, mashallah. Okay. Uh, And we are saying this slave woman is divorced here. Married slave woman. So married slave woman, who's her husband? Is her master her husband? This married slave woman. Is her master her husband?
No.
No. You cannot own your wife. The slave is owner, is a possession. A slave is a possession. Is money. A slave is money. So it means then she's married to someone. Someone owns her and she has a husband. What a position to be in. Subhanallah. I mean, that man, her husband, I mean. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. We heard about how, the kuffar, they tell the stories about what their slave masters used to do with their slave women after giving them in marriage. After giving them in marriage, she will get married, and then slave master will say, before you go to your husband, though, mashallah, can't. He said, I'm not sure the meaning of intervals. Yes. So the intervals here refers to the menses and the clean time. So the menses are the menstruating intervals or periods. And the clean time is the non-bleeding intervals or the purity intervals or the clean intervals. So the iddah, and this is the Shafi'i school, the iddah of the menstruating woman is 3 clean intervals. According to that, means her. Oh, he says, yes, it says, but if it were by intervals. Yes, meaning here. So, how would a woman's iddah be? By what? Her countdown could be by uh, clearing the womb. Or her countdown could be by months, not intervals, but by months. Her iddah could be by intervals because she's menstruating woman. So in this paragraph, he's giving us the scenarios for the slave. The countdown of the pregnant slave woman is like the countdown of the free woman. So it's by the termination of the pregnancy, not by intervals, not by months. If it, meaning the countdown, were by intervals, this means she's a menstruating woman, and she counts 2 intervals, meaning 2 clean intervals, because this is the Shafi'i school. If it were by months, this means she's not a menstruating woman. She's neither pregnant nor a menstruating woman, so she counts her countdown by months. Then, if she's a widow, then her iddah is 2 months and 5 days, half the iddah of a free widow. And if it were by divorce, or another way of breaching the marriage contract, then her iddah will be a month and a half. Still half of the iddah of a free woman. And 2 months is better. So, the divorce is a reason for her to get into her iddah. This is what I was about to say. I think I got distracted. And also, what? The death of her husband will put her into an iddah. And what else? Also, apostasy, because it breaches the marriage, will put her into her iddah. What else is going to put a woman into her iddah, amongst other things? One that I want to get to mention to you. If she were a kafirah, a married kafirah who embraced Islam. Kafir woman is married. She embraces Islam. Can a kafir woman be married? Can a Muslim woman, a Muslimah, be married to a kafir man? No. So then, by her embracing Islam, this breaches her marriage with her kafir husband. Her iddah will start. So what's her iddah going to be? It's going to be whatever her case is. Is she pregnant? Is she a menstruating woman? Is she a non-menstruating woman? Whatever her case is, then the rule will apply to her. Question: if that enslaved married woman got pregnant, how would they know who the father is? It's going to be her husband's baby. She cannot. It's not permissible for her master to be intimate with her. The master can be intimate with his unmarried slave woman, not his married slave woman. And also, he does not have her sister too. What would be an alternative word for interval?
No, you answered that question, Sheikh.
Okay. You said, but if her master has intercourse with her before marrying her off, I don't know. But the thing that I was just mentioning about what the kuffar used to do, according to their own accounts, is even after marrying her, that's to humiliate her husband. They would do that to humiliate the slave man. Yeah, that's kuffar I was talking about, not Muslims. You said, what's the case of the woman who doesn't know if her husband is alive or dead? Then she waits. This doesn't, okay, that does not breach her marriage. Not knowing if her husband is alive or dead does not breach her marriage. So if she doesn't know if her husband is alive or dead, means he's missing. What's the judgment of the woman with a missing husband? There's different sayings about that. Amongst the sayings is, she waits a normal lifetime. Subhanallah. Imagine he comes home one day. Subhanallah. Where's he been all that time? Maybe he was stranded in another city somewhere. Couldn't get out. He said, I know a woman whose husband was missing in the war a few months ago. Subhanallah. Did he come back? Oh, they found his body. Subhanallah. Rahimahullah.
Sheikh,
Yes.
when you said and he does not have her sister, what did you mean? What did you mean by
Because he
that?
can't be intimate, yani, if a man has two sisters, meaning there's both his slaves, or one of them's his wife and one of them's his slave.
Uh-huh.
Then he is not able to be intimate with both of them.
Okay.
I'm going back to the beginning. If you said that if the woman was pregnant, and no, not pregnant. If she was her Iddah and he divorced her while she was pregnant, that would be haram, right?
No, it's not haram to divorce a pregnant woman.
Which one you said it would hurt her?
If he divorced her while she's menstruating,
Mister, okay. Yeah,
this hurts her with the meaning that it extends her waiting time. Yeah, it harms her. Or if you want, it inconveniences her. It's not permissible for him to do that.
got it.
You're welcome.
Great.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Is it makruh to divorce a woman while she's pregnant?
I haven't heard this, makruh.
Okay. Barakallahu feek.
Ameen wa feek. Yeah, the class went so quick today, mashallah. I think the information was light too. Subhanallah.